forget to do that. Okay, perfect. All right. Just before we go ahead and get started with the actual meeting, just a couple of housekeeping tips for you on Zoom. If you're having trouble seeing the screen because of the cameras that are in the front, you can either drag them to the side so that you can see the screen behind you. You can also, at the top of the camera or the video, there's some options on how you want to see them, so you can completely remove them. You can just show the person that's speaking if you just want to have one video showing, because I know sometimes as we get multiple cameras, it will kind of fill up your screen and you can't see what's behind you. So those are just a couple of housekeeping things that you can do as you are logging on and getting situated. So Christina, I'm going to go ahead and start. Can you go ahead and just monitor the
yeah, and I just saw Miss Workham just came on.
Okay, wonderful.
So, yeah.
All right. So Christina's going to monitor our waiting room so we can get everybody in. And then Patricia, you're there too, right?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, there you are. See, I couldn't see you. Okay, I see you now. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Palacio. I am the president for the Laureate Park Elementary PTA. Thank you so much for being here and for volunteering your time. This meeting is going to be very informative because we've got some big changes that are happening this year in terms of just being a volunteer, as well as some instructions and some guidance on being a room parent. So we're excited to welcome this program back. This is a program that PTA sponsors and oversees, so we're excited to be able to bring that back. As we go ahead and get started, I wanted to just introduce a couple of people that are going to be kind of your contacts when it comes to volunteering and our room parents. Christina Herndon, she's on our video as well, so you can see Christina. For those of you that don't know Christina, she has a 4th grader at Laureate Park, but she's also overseeing all of our volunteers in general. So she would be a great one to contact if you have some general volunteer questions, just with regards to the school, with regards to PTA, not just about room parents, but any sort of event or function that we might have. Sometimes you're going to get some questions from parents saying, how do I volunteer? And Christina would be a great resource to send them to, because she will be able to place them within an area that might suit them best. Not everybody wants to volunteer in an event. Some people like to just simply volunteer at home, helping with homework pages or things like that. So Christina can get them connected to where best fits their desire. Patricia Font is our room parent coordinator. Patricia's also on the camera there. So she will be overseeing all of the room parents and that program. So she also, if you haven't joined the Facebook page or group, excuse me, for the Laureate Park room parents, she can help provide that link for you to do so, but she's going to be your contact for anything related to room parents. If you have a question about, am I allowed to do this when it comes to room parents, or we have a question about our holiday party, or what are we doing this? Can we do that? Patricia's going to be the one for you to go to. And if it's something she's not able to answer, she can definitely go to the school and assist and get the answer and get back to you on that. And then from the school side, Mrs. Ramsey, Kathleen Ramsey, she's our new additional assistant principal. If you didn't know, we have 2 assistant principals this year, so she is one of the 2. And she'll be kind of overseeing the volunteers from the school side. So Christina and Patricia will work with her as well, just to make sure that we're following protocol and procedures with what we need to do. So these are going to be your contacts when it comes to volunteering. All right, I'm going to go ahead and Christina, do you want to kind of go through this and then go ahead and you can take it over?
Yeah, I have a couple things to say before I move into the demo part of it. So that works. I'll let you know when to, well, I guess I'll take over when I'm ready to take over.
Sounds good.
All right, so yeah, so like Angela said, volunteering is going to be a little different this year, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have volunteer opportunities, right? So PTA and Laureate Park are both going to have events or other activities going on throughout the year. Some examples being PTA is hosting a pizza tailgate in October. In November, we'll have a movie night outdoors. And of course, there's things like book fair, freeze pop distributions, room parents, and more events and activities will be coming out throughout the year, and we'll let you know about what they are. Let's see. So PTA is going to be facilitating the signups for volunteers this year. So for any type of volunteer opportunity is kind of not going through us, but we're going to help manage it when you have questions or anything. So like Angela said, you can contact me for general volunteer information, and Patricia will take care of the room parent stuff. Okay, so volunteer opportunities and the time slots are going to be limited this year. And so it's going to be important that you go in and sign up as early as you can so you get the time slots you want. We're going to do a demo in a minute to kind of show you how to do that and what it's going to look like. And one of the bigger things is to volunteer in the classroom, it's going to be up to your teacher. So room parents need to get with your teachers and make sure you find out from them if they even want to have volunteers in the class, if they feel that's safe, what kind of protocols they would want you to follow for that. So not all classrooms may have volunteer opportunities within the classroom, but there's going to definitely be opportunities for school-wide volunteering. Okay, so the biggest change is you're going to need to go into Additions and attach yourself to the volunteer opportunities. So that way when you get to the school and sign in at the computer, you'll be able to attach yourself and sign in to the opportunity you signed up for, if that makes sense. I'll show you. Let's see. Oh yeah, and please do not, well, I'll go over this in a second. I'm gonna pull up the screen so I can show you. I think that'll be easier. So let's see. Switching over. Okay, so first thing is on the Loria Park Elementary PTA website, you can come up here to the volunteer page and click on it, and we're gonna have listed the, oh, it's taking a minute. I need to move these cameras. All right. Okay, so on here, you'll be able to see the volunteer opportunities that we have listed. They're down below here. Up top, we have where you can go in and register and log into Additions. All the volunteers are going to have to do this. If you volunteered last year, you'll remember that there's the computers in the front office where you have to log in and you have to have your username and your password, and you log in and you check into your opportunity. It's going to be the same as that, except we're going to have more opportunities for you to attach yourself to within the Additions website. So I'm going to go over that in a second. I'll review the rest of the page first. Right here is a link where if you click on it, you can send me an email. So if you don't remember what my email was from this presentation, you can always come to the volunteer page on the website and click this button, and it will pop open an email message to send. And then down here will be where we post volunteer opportunities that are currently active. I'm going to update this as we have new signups added to Additions. And then you can also click, when it says more info, that will also send me an email so you can ask questions about that. Let's see. Okay, let's go back up. Okay, so to sign up for a volunteer opportunity, you're going to need to go to Additions. And of course, you'll have to, if you're not signed up already, you're going to have to create an account. I already have one, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, and so you're going to want to come to Search Opportunities first after you finish your profile. Is it loading? There it goes. You're going to click Volunteers. Oh, what's going on here? I need to use a mouse.
And just to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
This is new for room parents. There is no longer, I'm going to come in on Tuesday, I'm going to just show up and I'm going to be able to go in. Or I told my teacher I'm coming in Tuesday and she said, okay, so I'm going to show up. You have to sign up for a slot in order to come decorate your door, to come help your teacher, and there are only limited slots each day. So Christine's going to go over that, but I just wanted to be clear that it's not just for I want to help out in the class. Even to come decorate the door now, you have to ensure that you're signed up for a slot before you arrive at the school.
So you're going to want to click on volunteers, not partners in education. You want volunteers, type in the school name, populate it, search. So this one here, this Become an Additions School Volunteer for the school year, that is the main, I guess, I don't know.
Opportunity. These are
Opportunity, I guess opportunity.
Mhm.
It's like a placeholder for you that connects you to the school officially. So the first thing you're going to want to do is everyone's going to want to click on this one and sign up for it. I'm already signed up. See, it has to remove me here. This is the one that everyone, absolutely everyone has to have. This is a general kind of placeholder, I guess is what I was looking for. A placeholder for you to be able to be a volunteer at the school. And so once you click on there, it's going to go into My Requests, and you're going to see all of your general opportunities underneath your My Requests. And those are just kind of revolving placeholders that are there throughout the year. I wonder if I can go back. Okay, so if you go back to the list, you're also going to see a opportunity for each grade level. So this is where, like Angela was saying, if you're a room parent, you're going to want to go to your grade level. I have fourth grader. You click on those details to load it up. And then down here, you're going to view the schedule to see the time slots that are still available. There's 2 available for each day. So you're going to want to come in often and early, so that way if you have a very tight schedule you're working with personally, so that you can come in and grab your time slot before it disappears. And we have dates, it goes on. I think it said the whole year might be, is the whole year's listed?
Yes, the whole year is already listed and up there.
Right, so you can go ahead and go in, but we don't want anyone, like, try not to sign up, you know, for like every day of the week because you're not sure what day you want to come in. Once you have your schedule, then go sign up. We don't want people to be hoarding reservations, and because then that means someone else can't go in if you weren't able to go. So I'm going to click on one of these to sign up. I'll do the one here to show you how it works. Now, every time you go in to add yourself to an opportunity, it's going to bring up your profile again. But if you've already submitted your profile for the year with your updates, you can just hit submit down here, and then it will add you to that opportunity that you selected and the time slot you selected it for. So here's the confirmation. And then to see the signups that you have, you go to My Placements. This is for when you have an actual time slot selected. Okay, so here's where that time slot now is, you know, let's say I forgot what day of the week did I go sign up for next week. I can click on details, and it should, you go back to the time slots, and it will show you that here's where I was signed up. And so if your schedule changes, we want you to go in and please remove yourself, so that way if someone else was looking for that time, they can come back in and grab it. And I'm trying to think, is there anything? So when you want to, you come in here, like I said, you go to the time slots again, and you can remove yourself, and that will remove you from there. Okay, let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So like I said, you'll want to make sure that when you sign up for the main additions one, that it does show up here, because if for some reason you didn't click all the way through all the buttons that you have to go to, it won't show up. So this is where it will show you that you have that, and then in the placements it will show you which individual time slots that you have registered yourself for, and you can go in there and get more information. I think that's that. I should cover that.
Keep in mind that if there's a special grade level event or something going on that day, you might find an additional opportunity. Don't think that there's only 2, you know, there's class parties, I got to grab it. There will be an additional, you know, they will put an additional opportunity in for the class parties for 2nd grade. This is mostly just for room parents, and door decorating is what these are primarily for now. One thing to keep in mind is the times for door decorating, and Patricia will get into that. But that will only be permitted beginning at 1 o'clock Monday through Friday. So please just schedule accordingly. That will help to ensure that we don't have to cancel due to testing, which we ran into some things last year. We didn't know there was testing. I showed up to decorate a door, I got turned away. So from Monday through Friday, starting at 1 o'clock is when you can come in to decorate your door.
Yeah, and then like I said, as more opportunities come up, they will be loaded into additions. I'm going to be working with Ms. Levinson or maybe some other people at the school to get all of the volunteer opportunities loaded into additions. So last year we used Sign Up Genius sometimes. This year we're putting everything through additions, and that helps in a lot of different ways with helping the school to keep track of where volunteers are, who came in, and that's going to be important for state safety this year with COVID and everything, to know who's coming in and when. All right, so I guess we can go back to the slides. So I'll stop this.
Are there any questions so far on anything that Christina shared? No questions so far. Okay, perfect. Oh, hold on, I gotta check here.
Science lab.
Yeah. Okay, the science lab, I know there was an email sent out recently that has been put on hold due to some changes with staffing. So we do not have any opportunities directly related to the STEM lab. If your teacher is going to be utilizing the STEM lab, we would ask that you would arrange directly with your teacher if they would like to have somebody come in and help with the STEM lab, but there is no general STEM lab at this time. And I don't know if Mrs. Workham wants to say anything else about that, or did we sum that up pretty well? Okay.
This is Miss Ramsey. I'm listening in today. Right now, because of staffing and the number of face-to-face students we have, we do have the science lab on hold for now. Miss West is helping out teaching a launch ed 4th grade class. She is trying to put some activities together, however, not to the extent that we would normally have our STEM lab. Should things change as the year goes on, we're hoping that she'll be able to return to the STEM lab and that we'll have kids going on a regular schedule.
Thank you, Mrs. Ramsey. And we introduced you, I know before you came on, but we introduced you as the school contact for the volunteers as well. So
here I am.
We provided your email, so thank you. Okay, so when you arrive to school, so at this point, you have already gone into additions and you've assigned yourself an opportunity. They will not allow you through the school doors if that did not happen. If there's already the 2 slots are taken, unfortunately, you're going to have to find another time to come. So that's why Christina had recommended that you go in there early, as long as you're able to come those times. We want to be fair and gracious to everybody that they want to get in as well. But if you're able to come in, go ahead and grab your times, and do make sure that you come to the school when you're scheduled to. When you arrive to the school, keep in mind that they are not going to congregate in the office. They may ask you to wait outside the doors of the office until they have a couple of people leave, so that there aren't 4 or 5 people waiting there. When you get there, you're going to check in with Ashley or whoever else might be sitting at the front desk there, and she's going to first ask you for your ID. So just like normal, give her your ID. She'll check you in. She's going to print out a tag. So if you're brand new, you'll get just a little sticker name tag. That name tag must be worn at all times while you're in the school, and it does need to be visible. So you want to wear it maybe up near your chest so that that's visible. You're going to then want to check in at the computer. Now, this is something we introduced at the end of last year. So if you did that, you know exactly what you're doing. It's the same process, but there are 2 computers there in the office. PTA will provide sanitizing wipes there that you can utilize to sanitize the keyboard. We do ask you to do that after you are done, but if you'd like to do it before you start, that's fine as well, but there will be some sanitizing wipes there. Now you're going to check in just like you did on addition. So Christina showed you to put your email address and your password, same exact thing when you get to the school. But this time it's going to show you the opportunities you've already assigned yourself to. you're going to check in. That's basically what you do. It's going to say check in. You're going to click yes, check in. When you leave the school, you're going to need to do the same thing. You're going to need to come back into the office. You're going to need to get back on the computer, and you have to check yourself out. Okay, and it's a big red button that says check out, and you click it, check out. So it's very simple, but please make sure that you are checking in and out at the computer. Masks are required. It's not optional. It's not recommended. They are required. If you don't have a mask, they do have some there in the office for you as well. And PTA will leave some there for you also, so that the school is not having to provide those. Sanitize your hands, please. There is a sanitizer as well as wipes that are going to be available for you there, so please utilize them also. A couple of important things as you are visiting the school. One of the opportunities or the troubles that we had last year is we would check in for an opportunity, meaning I'm going to go to my second grade class and I'm going to go help out with my student's classroom, and then we would find a volunteer in the media center chatting with someone, and we can't do that. We have to go to where we are signed up. If you're signed up to decorate your door at your second grade classroom, the places that you're limited to are the materials in the media center, the Cricut machine and so forth, and your classroom door. We can't be walking down to visit our old teacher that's in first grade, or, you know, go to the cafeteria and, you know, just check out what's going on. We're limited to the areas that we signed up for. So that's really important so that we don't lose the privileges of being able to volunteer in the school. Do not be left alone with a child. This is something that your teacher may not even realize that volunteers cannot do. I had personally had it happen to me last year with field day. A teacher said, could you take this student to the office? And I said, I can't. I am not allowed to be alone with a child, even if I'm taking them to the restroom. So please keep that in mind as well. You have to be with an OCPS employee if you're going to be with a child. So if a teacher says, can you just take this child to the bathroom, or can you walk him to the clinic? You have to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not permitted to be alone with a child. And that's very important also. So again, we're not losing our privileges to be volunteering in the school. And then lastly is do not make decisions on procedures. Allow the teacher to make any sort of decision on procedures. You may feel that these children should be over here, or you're sitting too close, or you're doing this. That is not our role as a volunteer. Okay, that is the teacher or the staff or the administration's role at the school to make those decisions. We are parent volunteers. We are there to help assist, but we do not make decisions for the school when it comes to procedures and how things are running. So any questions on that one? It's pretty simple, pretty good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Patricia Font, who is our room parent coordinator. Do you want me to pull up the packet, Patricia, and you go through it?
Sure, yes, please.
Okay, let me do that. So let me
So while Angela does that, again, welcome and thank you. Thank you for volunteering. Welcome to the room parent team. I've been a room parent for the last 3 years and I enjoy it very much. So my first year helping the PTA and the coordination, but we're all here to help. So
can you see that? Is it up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I can see it.
Mhm.
All right. So maybe some of you are, yeah, maybe some of you, thank you. Maybe some of you are new to room parenting, or maybe some of you are already done this through the years. So whatever stage of the room parenting journey you are, we're here to help. You are very important to the school, the PTA, and to the teacher, and mostly to your child, because this is gonna make their experience at school. I very much volunteer for that because I wanted my child to have a nice experience at school and have nice memories and have a very nice classroom door decorated, et cetera, right? So on this guide I already shared, I think it was Tuesday that I shared with everybody that provided their contact. So you should have it. Or maybe if it hit your junk mail or spam, just let me know and we'll resend it over. It's just a few pointers on what to do and what room parents do, right? We do have some responsibilities, and then we have some privileges by being room parents, I believe. So the first thing that we as room parents do is coordinate classroom volunteers, which is why we have glue these two meetings together because they're very one dependent to the other, right? We're volunteering for our classroom to help our teacher. We are responsible to organize celebrations, but we'll go through that later because there are changes to that as well. Coordinate teacher gifts or any donations to the classroom, and recruit classroom volunteers for the school-wide events like the PTA events or Teacher Appreciation Week or anything else that, that comes up through the year. As room parents, you might think you need to do everything yourself, but you don't. You're here to help your teacher, be the right hand, and then coordinate these volunteers. So this is very important that you recruit other parents' help, and maybe some parents do not want to volunteer to be a room parent because they think they don't have the time, but they do like to help and assist in the class or anything else. So you have to do that as well and be very aware. The first thing you have to do as a room parent is meet with your teacher, because she's, as Angela and Christina mentioned before, some of them might not be comfortable with you coming in and decorate the door or coming in and doing stuff in the classroom. So she's gonna be your lead, right? You're gonna be their right hand. And then you need to have a meeting with them and see what type of support is needed from you, right? Also, you can send or print, in the packet you will find a sample letter. You can create your own, we just include that so you can have a model of what to say and do. You have to introduce yourself to the other parents in case they don't know you. And then just take it from there. But the most important thing is, number one, that you sign up in additions, sign up in volunteers, as a volunteer for Laureate Park, as Christina and Angela already explained. And then that you meet with your teacher to move forward on this. And then I'm not gonna go through the volunteer part because you already explained it very well, Christina. So I'll go through the contacting parents, which is what we already did. Ask your teacher how, if you wanna do it through Blooms, if they have a Blooms account, or if it's okay to you to contact them via email. Just keep in mind that if all the information is confidential and it can only be used for that, to communicate about the room parents and the classroom activities. Nothing else can be done, sorry, with those emails, right? So you can also use Canvas as a great way to communicate and recruit volunteers, or if you need anything for the classroom, right? Again, you shouldn't do or provide everything yourself. You're here to coordinate, but it is very important that you give the opportunity to other parents. I already said this. And then again, also when working with students' information, this is also very confidential and it cannot be discussed outside the classroom. So this is very important as well that you keep in mind. Then we have a little to-do list. And again, this is just to remind you what your next steps after this meeting will be. And again, the first one I will say, if you're not done so, please go to additions and register as a volunteer for Laureate Park. Get additions approved, then contact your teacher, create a class roster with the volunteers' emails, knowing which parents would like to be volunteers and which don't have the time or can't volunteer. And then that way you begin to build rapport with them and know which parents are more willing to help and would like to help. And again, let's talk about the holiday parties, which was in the past one of the biggest roles that we had as room parents. This year, as things are different, we don't know exactly how they're going to look for the teacher. They might do a little Zoom bingo, or they might do some activity, some STEM lab activity. I don't know. That will be up to the teacher. And again, it will be at teacher's discretion what you should be assisting with, right? Angela, I don't know if this is correct or not. Do you want to add anything on classroom parties?
No, that is correct. And I've gotten a lot of questions thinking, well, my class is launch ed, what am I going to do? And the question I always responded with is that parent engagement is one of the reasons why our school is so successful. And a lack of parent engagement is going to affect our students and our teachers. So, as a room parent, And if you are a Launch to Ed classroom, I would encourage you to think about ways to engage your students in the class, to do some fun activities, have parents help out. Maybe a parent wants to host a bingo on a Friday, you know, and the teacher would probably love that, you know, to do something fun that a parent can get involved. But there are ways to engage the students, even though they're not in person. And so as a room parent, you might want to find out what your classroom parents think. Maybe some say, you know what, I'd love to host something like that, and kind of come up with some good ideas to engage those students specifically that are not at the school.
Thank you, Angela. So yeah, so then, and I think related to that is also the collaborations, or if we have a budget. I also created an Excel sheet which is a sample class budget, but I didn't include it in my email, so I'll send it out.
Oh, I have it. You want me to pull that up?
Yeah, you can pull it up so they can see it, but I forgot to include it in my first email, but I'll send it after this. So this is just to help you. Again, you might use this or not use it. This is only some materials we're providing you to help. So this is like a budgeting class. If you can list whatever activities or gifts you plan to do in the year, and then you can just put it here, put the number of parents and families that are contributing, and then you can send this out to everybody that in the class, so they are aware of what the budget and the spending was. Again, this is just a sample that we're providing. You can do it as you prefer, but again, if it is money-wise, it's always good to have it in the books and register and very clear and open to everybody to see. Do you want to add anything, Angela? No? Okay, so we can move forward. I'll send this after the meeting today, so you can have it, as I forgot to include it in my original email.
The only thing the only thing I would recommend with money is to always provide receipts. So if a parent gives you $20, always write them a receipt that you received it there, because I think I paid you, I'm not sure. And you're like, I don't know either.
Exactly.
Write a receipt, have a little receipt book. Print something out on Word. Doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to go buy a receipt book or something, but just some receipt to let the parent know you received it.
Correct. And I also would recommend to talk to your teacher as well to see how if she's comfortable asking for money, or I don't know. I think to me as a room parent, the money side is a little bit more, it needs to be clear and perfect in line with the teacher and with all the parents. And I think it's better if we're all on the same page on how you're going to collect, or if you're going to give just a gift card, not a gift, et cetera, right? But again, as those questions and situations come, you can always come to me or Angela or Christina, and I will be happy to assist with it. And again, these are just pointers. Have fun, delegate. You shouldn't do it all yourself, because you're the room parent. You're not responsible for everything. You're allowed to delegate. We know some of you work. We know some of you, we all have our personal life, so you don't have to do everything. And then again, this is a sample of the calendars we are providing you in advance, and this is very helpful. I appreciate it as a room parent to know when your door decorations must come down. Is usually before the big breaks, but I resumed them here, summarized them here for you. Okay. Yes, we are going to talk about portables. There's a question about portable doors. Yes, we're going to decorate them. I have to come to school and measure these doors, because if you move, when we move forward on the packet, you're going to see I have the dimensions, but these are for the doors that are inside the classroom. So we still don't have the dimensions for the outside, but I will come into school and measure them so I can share all this with 4th and 5th grader parents, room parents. And I think Angela just commented, we can also decorate the windows and the side of the classroom, right, Angela? But you have to talk to your teacher before doing that, and it cannot be done during school hours. There cannot be students inside the portables when you do that.
Yeah, for those of you that have 4th and 5th graders, you are going to have to you're going to have a little bit more limited time because there are students in there. So you'll either need to come on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock because they get out early, or you'll have to come after school at 3 o'clock. And I believe you are permitted to be there until 6 o'clock when extended day is gone. So you'll just have to coordinate a little bit later times to come and decorate the portable door, the inside of the door or the window when there's no students in there.
Okay, we can move forward from, okay, let's talk about door decorating and the supplies we provided you. When I started as a room parent, I had no idea. It was my first year, so I had no idea. Let me see, there's some questions. What about the weather? They aren't protected from weather. My teacher is lunch eating. She said she was not worried about decorating. Yeah, if you're, of course, if you're lunch eating, again, this is up to your teacher's discretion. If she doesn't want you to decorate the door, that's fine. You don't have to come in. Again, this is, think about you are your teacher's right hand and you're here to support your teacher. So all teachers are different and have different needs. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. Think about the weather. Yeah, I think that's very important for portables. Angela, I don't know. I think this is at your discretion. You will have to pick designs and materials that are more weather resistant. But this will be my first year dealing with portables too, so I don't have a lot of tips to how to decorate that.
We did some research with other schools that have done the portables, and we actually got feedback that decorating the inside of the doors and the windows has worked well for them. So again, this is new for us as well, so we'll just have to kind of see how it works. Maybe laminate a couple of pieces and decorate the door. You know, we can kind of look and see maybe after the first go around how it's going. But we have spoken to other schools, and this was their recommendation to us, saying the inside of the doors and the inside of the windows seem to work well for the portable. But let us know if you're running into trouble with that.
Thank you. And we have, as Angela mentioned earlier, we have a computer in the media center that is to be used by room parents to decorate the doors. We have some supplies there as well. There's a Cricut where you can do some nice lettering like the one that I put there, so you could see an example on what the Cricut can do for you. We have a login for the design space for the Cricut, and everything is posted there in the media room. What we ask you to is to please keep in mind that it uses 12 by 12 paper, so you will have to keep your designs into that dimensions, and also that if possible, you can use the login at home, create the project at home, so you don't spend all your time designing in the computer the day that you're coming into school. So you can just come to print and cut, right? Again, we also have a supply list on the media room, and if you're learning, if you notice that something is running low or anything, please go ahead and make a note on the supplies. I will keep an eye on it too, but if you come in and see that, for example, we don't have any black paper, we don't have this or that, just let us put a note there, and we will make sure to restock.
For those of you that have not utilized the room parent supply closet, quote unquote, it's in the back corner of the media center. There's rolls of paper that you can use for the door that you see here, like the green. There are tons of scissors, really fun cutting. We've got washi tape, we've got regular tape, we've got hot glue, we've got regular paper, we've got the 12 by 12, we've got stamps, we've got tons of stuff. And if you find that we're running low, like she said, don't feel that I have to go out and buy, all this stuff. If we need it, we'll get it for you. Just write it on the list and we'll make sure to get it ordered.
And thank you, Angela. And now that you mentioned materials, there's only 2 approved materials to hang these decorations in the door this year, which are regular Scotch tape or hot glue gun. Nothing else can be used. The reason is because these other materials can damage the doors. So you can only use those 2. Glue gun is the best one. That's what I used through the years, and it's the best one. It dries instantly and it comes off nicely. So I would recommend the hot glue gun, but you can also use the regular Scotch tape to glue everyone. No, not even, well, commons, I don't think so, right? No common strips, nothing. Just glue guns and regular Scotch, sorry. I know. All right. Again, some recommendations: do most of the stuff at home. Take all the dimensions with you. Take, Angela, are they allowed to come in advance to get paper, or they will have to sign up to come in to get paper as well, right?
Yeah, so you'll want to, if you, that's why we recommend you do everything at home. So you just have to come in and print and go decorate your door. If it's a 2-day project, then sign up for 2 days. It's fine. One day you go in and you want to, just utilize the computer, and then the next day you come in and you put it up on the door. That's totally fine. But yes, you will, if you're going to come in twice, you need to sign up twice.
Thank you. So yeah, and then just keep in mind that some doors might be reversed. They will have the window on the other side or the handle on the other side. But overall, excluding the portables which we'll provide later, these are the dimensions for the door, right? I think the important thing on door decorating, I know that before, if you have 2 room parents, you will come together. You can't do that anymore. It will have to be only one person per door, or decorating, or whatever you're going to do. There's no 2 volunteers at the same time. So think about that also when you're trying to design your projects. I know we have some very nice projects going that took all the wall and everything. Just keep in mind, you're going to have to do this by yourself. The teacher might help, but again, you will have to talk about this with the teacher if she's able to help, if she has the time. But everything else will have to do it by yourself. Okay, this is very important. I think that's it. Oh, yeah, and then, sorry, I just realized for the ones that are new, we do allow, for example, Halloween decorations, but you will have to keep it PG, right? It's a school, so no blood, no scary stuff. It's all fun and nicely. So just keep it school oriented and fun. Yes, well, I think Angela is replying to the question on the calendar. We will send a reminder, and then if you join our Facebook page, I will post there a reminder every time that the calendar dates are approaching. But it's just because they can be there when the school is empty, so we will have to put them down.
There's no requirement to decorate the door. Some people do it monthly. I was not one of those room parents. I would beg anybody to decorate the door. But what that means is if you have if you have some decorations on the door, they need to come down. You need to remove them from the door by November 20th or by whatever date Patricia had on the calendar. That means when you leave the school, that door looks like there's
empty.
Nothing on it. It's a regular door. There's no decorating on it. It just needs to come down, meaning it needs to be removed from the door. So I would encourage you not to say, well, I'm going to put my door up on November 10th, because it's got to come down 10 days later. So you want to plan, what you're going to do so you get some good use out of it. We have a lot of room parents. I was that one. 4 times a year. I picked a season and that was what I did, right?
Exactly.
So I was like, I had a fall door, I had a winter door. I was like, the least amount of door decorating I can do is for me. I had spring, and then I would just keep it up for 2 months, and then, oh, it's, March 10th, it's time for me to take it down. I would take it down, and then I'd come back in after spring break and put up a new one. So that's what that means.
Exactly. Thank you, Angela. And can you scroll down to see if I forgot anything? I think that's pretty much it. That's the letter that I talked about earlier. This is the contact list for the PTA, but Angela and Christina already running through that in the beginning of the presentation. And again, I will be your room parent assistant. So, and this is just sample questions that you can ask your teacher, but I'm sure you already have a lot of questions and everything in mind that you want to talk to them. So that's it from my side. I don't know, Angela, if you think I forgot anything, feel free to add.
So now that you have attended this meeting, and we're going to open it up for questions here, because I know other people will have the same question that you probably have, but you may start coming in to volunteer, to decorate your door, to whatever you want to do starting tomorrow. Well, I think you might be able to go in today. I can't remember if it was.
Start the 14th, which is Monday. I think it's
What's
Monday.
that?
The time slots and additions start on September 14th.
Okay, so on Monday, she started them on Monday. So you can go ahead and start signing up to come in and to do whatever you need to do. If your teacher is having an event in her classroom, this is another important thing as a room parent. we're doing a fun, you know, little activity in our class, and the teacher says, you know, I'd be okay with having some volunteers in the classroom. There's one volunteer allowed in the classroom at a time. So as a room parent, you will want to help coordinate that. Well, you know, as a room parent, you know, could I go in every time? Yes. Do I might want to share that with other parents? Yes. So you might want to make sure everyone's getting a chance to come in. If there's a monthly activity that the teacher would be okay with having a volunteer come in for, you might want to say, well, Mrs. Smith came in last month, so, you know, Mr. you know, Baker is going to come in this month, you know, or whatever. But try to allow for more parents to come in as opposed to the same parent all the time, or even as a room parent, me going in all of the time. Try to ensure that the parents that want to go in are getting a chance to do that, because again, there's only one volunteer in the classroom at a time. So, and there will be an opportunity for, I'm going to say that, and I don't think that that's right. If there is something going on in the classroom, then they will need to sign up for the opportunity for that day. So if there was something on October 2nd, they need to go in and check the opportunity that we showed you earlier so that we know that there is a volunteer on campus. There's only 2 total per grade level every day. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's only 12 volunteers total in you know, per day on campus, if that makes sense, because every grade level gets 2 per day. And that's just helping with ensuring we're not bogging up the office, and we don't have too many people roaming the hallways and so forth. Again, if there's a special grade level thing, you're not gonna have to fight over it. There will be a special opportunity put in additions for that, that you can, you know, everybody in the grade will be able to sign up for, but these are just for special kind of one-off occasions. You will need to go in there and make sure you sign up to come. So,
sorry, Angela, and I think, sorry to interrupt, you said it earlier, but I just wanted to reiterate it again for decorating and coming in as a room parent. Decorating doors are only from 1 p.m. onwards. And again, this is because we want to avoid, I don't know if somebody was here before, we will have to not come when testing was happening, or we will have to send a communication. So this will avoid that. So you can come from 1, and we think it's up until 6 p.m. when extended day is there. So you will have all that time to do so. And if your child is there, he can stay with you while you're decorating afterwards, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, and there was a question here that actually I was about to reply to, and I realized, you know what, I needed to vocalize that. If you remember last year, lots of times, hey, we're having an event, and here are all the things that we need. We need plates, we need this, we need a package of Oreos, we need this, we need that. The food is not permitted to be brought in. So that is something that's really important. And the teachers are aware of that, so they shouldn't be asking you to bring in food, you know, or anything consumable. So if that's something that your teacher needs help with, they could first request that from the administration team. They do have budgets to help teachers with those items. If for some reason they just still need some help with some things about that are consumable, my recommendation would be to still budget, like, oh, well, we usually would spend $25 for every STEM project or whatever, but you know, we would bring in the marshmallows and the this and the that. Instead, my recommendation might be to give the teacher $25 to Walmart to go buy the supplies, instead of you bringing in the, you know, things that can't be brought in from the parent side. So just keep in mind that consumables will not be able to be donated from the parents. And that's correct, Ms. Ramsey, right? That hasn't changed.
I'm sorry, that was me?
Yeah,
You are
it
correct.
hasn't changed, correct? No consumables to be brought
Correct.
in.
Correct. Yeah, we just can't have anything coming in. Correct.
Perfect. Melanie's question, the November 20th, those are the dates that you need to have everything removed from the doors. So you can put them up and have fun, but when it comes to November 20th, those things need to be coming down. They will just tear them down if they're not down off of your door. So they just need to come down. If you want to save it if you can take it down nicely, lay it in the classroom, you could put it back up after, but it just needs to come off of the doors by those dates. All right. Are there any questions? So are there any questions on what we have gone over in terms of room parents or volunteering? You can chat or feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to vocalize your question. I'm sure everybody has the same question, so don't feel. Oh, the fun run. The fun run is TBD. Right now we have it scheduled for the end of February. Sorry, the end of January, the beginning of February. We have to play it by ear. We're not sure what's going to happen. We might not do a fun run. We might do a readathon or something. We don't know yet. So we'll let you know once we get a little closer. We just have to take it month by month to see how things are going, what we're permitted to do, what parents want to do, and so forth. So, but it won't be this semester. If we have it, it'll be next semester. Do we have to sign up if we're picking up materials from the media center? Yes. Anytime you're going to try to get through the office, you have to go ahead and sign up for a slot. Will there still only be one volunteer for the class parties? If there is a class party, yes, there's only one volunteer in the classroom. That is, no matter what's happening inside the classroom, there's only one volunteer permitted. Do you happen to know how long it takes to be approved to be a volunteer? I've applied and not heard back. If it's your first time, it usually takes a couple of weeks. If you have volunteered before in the past and you're renewing, mine was instantaneous. I went in there and reapplied and immediately was active. That has never happened before. It usually takes still the same amount of time, but it came back instantaneous. So if you're new, and I'm going to assume that you're new, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks, but go into Additions. You're not going to get an email that says, hey, we've approved you. You just need to go back into Additions to check to see if your profile has been active. Once it says passed or active, then you're approved.
I can pull up my screen again and show where they can check on that too. We want to do that.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? So we are okay as long as your status is active. Yes, if you see the word passed or you see the word active, you are good to go. It would say inactive or ineligible, I believe, if you have some problems. But yes, it should say active or passed.
Yeah, over here underneath your picture. I'll show on your profile, status passed.
So yeah, as long as it says that there, you are, you're good to go. There will be some signs from some of the things we went over. For instance, we talked about some of the things like to make sure you do at the in the office, you know, the computers and wiping them down. We're creating some signage to put above the computers to remind you. And also in the media center, there's going to be a sign that just says, if someone's waiting for the Cricut, to limit your time to 15 minutes and to please practice social distancing. So if someone else is there on the computer, we shouldn't be bellied up to them and, hey, how's it going? You can chat, but just give some space and just make sure we're not congregating. But if we shouldn't have that issue too much, but excuse me, just make sure that you're not congregating there near the supplies. Just kind of wait for that person to leave. I'm new to LP and I have been a room parent before, but this time with Launchpad is completely new. What kind of engagement should we have with the parents? I would talk to your teacher and talk to your parents on what, maybe get a little sense of what they feel the students might like. You could, we have Freeze Pop Fridays for Launchpad, the second Friday of every month. You might want to just maybe meet up there and have a social distanced, you know, freeze pop, you know, and just kind of all the kids could sit around and in the field or something and enjoy your freeze pop. You can do some Zoom activities. You could do bingo. You could do, you know, some sort of fun games that you might be able to do over the internet, the word I'm looking for, technology. But maybe talk to your parents about some ways that they feel that the kids can be engaged and doing that. Maybe, you try to host a show and tell, once a week or something like that, that a kid can kind of show, and a parent might, be involved in kind of helping organize that as well. But there's, talk to your teacher. Everyone might be comfortable with different things, and some might be a little more restrictive on what you can do, and some might give you a little bit more freedom there to make some choices. What's the best way to know my daughter's classroom door measurement? Get a slot, go to the school measure. We provided that for you in the, we went over that in the room packet, the room parent packet. The measurements are there. You just need to know which side the window is on. But the measurements for the door are already there, with the exception of the portables, but we're gonna get that for you. Patricia will be emailing that out. Mine says active. Never was a room parent before though. I just resubmitted and said it's in review, but no need to worry on that because it says active. Yep, as long as it says active, you're good. Active or passed. If not answered already, what volunteer opportunities are there that you may do remote to help all types of students, face-to-face, launch ed, and virtual? All of our PTA volunteer opportunities are going to benefit all types of students. So whether they're launch ed, face-to-face, or virtual, any of the opportunities we have will benefit all those types of students. There is a need for help with the materials distribution that happens on that Wednesday each month. If you're launch ed, ask your teacher, could you use some help passing out the materials? And they will probably say, yes, absolutely. Do you need some help tearing out the homework pages to get ready for the material distribution? They're going to say, please, yes. You can take that stuff home. You don't need to even be in the school in order to do that. So check with your teacher on what volunteer opportunities, if you're launch ed, that they might have specifically for your classroom, because as a room parent, we want you to be involved in that classroom, to make sure those children and those students have the parent engagement and the support that they need. So start with your teacher, and I guarantee you they're going to give you a list of things that you can help them with, because we know that they probably need more help than even our face-to-face teachers sometimes do.
Yeah, Angela, I want to add on that that would be great if the teachers say that they could use help with the distribution on Wednesdays, but we also need to make sure that the teachers are there to help oversee that process, because they know who their students are and things like that. We don't want you to go in lieu of the teacher doing it, because that shouldn't just fall on as your responsibility. The teacher should be overseeing the whole process.
That's correct. And the teachers understand as well, that is part of their daily time. They're there, that's part of their workday. So yes, but you would be there as an assistance to them, not in lieu of them. So that is correct. And I don't think I don't foresee that happening, but if you get oh yeah, replace me, maybe just send me a quick email or something, and because we want to make sure that's not becoming the norm, but I don't foresee that happening. Any other questions about volunteering or room parent in general, or the sign-in process? Everybody's clear on going in. It's very simple. Just make sure that you have attached yourself the opportunity and you've signed up before you go into the school, because you're going to be bummed when she says, I'm sorry, you can't pass through. And please be kind to our office staff. They are so busy with so many people calling and coming in, and I know we can be frustrated when things don't go our way, and we're having to wait, or they can't find our name in the system, or sometimes things happen, but we are representing the PTA. We're parents of Laureate Park. We just want to make sure that we're showing our office staff the utmost respect and kindness, if things aren't going as smoothly as you'd hoped when you arrived. So please just be patient. If you really wanted to be in there right at 1 o'clock, then maybe come at 12:55 to get yourself logged in and checked in and everything. It's okay to come a few minutes early to go through the computer, because that'll take a few minutes. But let's just remember to show kindness and patience. And if there's an issue, my cell phone number is on that sign in front of the computer. So I would encourage you, and I welcome it, to text me saying, hey, there's a problem here. I don't know. I'm getting frustrated. I don't know what to do. I live 5 minutes away. I'm happy to come and help. Or if I can do it over the phone, I'll help with that as well. But please don't feel that you can't contact me if you're having some trouble and you're getting frustrated, because the office, can get a little overwhelmed sometimes as well. Anything else? Patricia or Christina, do you have anything else? Or Mrs. Ramsey, do you have anything else for our group before we sign off today?
Well, I just want to thank for everybody who participated today. We were up at 50 plus participants. This is my first experience out of school where I've had a PTA so active and so involved, and I can't wait to see all these doors decorated and everything that you're able to do, even in this COVID system that we're in the middle of. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for your flexibility, for your understanding, and we're still going to have a great year.
All right, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much. If you have additional questions that you didn't want to ask here in the meeting, you can grab Patricia, her email, and you can send her a message, or make sure that you're a part of that Facebook group for our room parents. If you're a room parent, go ahead and join the Facebook group, and you should have gotten an email from Patricia as well. So she can maybe re-email everybody just to make sure, so that you've got a link to that Facebook page, and you can ask a lot of questions in there as well. So, and thank you to our, for everyone for joining us and for volunteering. You really do make a difference with our students and with our teachers. So thank you so much for all that you do, and have a great day. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.